What I found in my travels is that it's not always the right time to fly off the handle. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. As I said, I was in my travels and I ran into this story and I had to stop for a second and talk about it. United Airlines. United Airlines actually had a whole ridiculous situation where they oversold. Okay? They oversold a plane and they needed to send some of their employees from Chicago to Louisville to work another plane that was going to be leaving from Louisville, or they were going to have to cancel that plane. So basically, the bottom line is always green. And they asked for volunteers to give up their seats. They needed 4 seats. They asked for volunteers to give up their seats on the plane. No one volunteered. Once no one volunteered, they moved into an involuntary seat removal. Well, that was actually going as planned by them. They're doing what they do. Well, they get to this one passenger and you're going to be needing to go. And he wasn't feeling that. Wasn't feeling it. And wasn't feeling it so much so that they had to literally have security board the plane and remove him by force from his seat. In the midst of this, it got very physical. I actually did view the video. There's video footage. I viewed the video footage. It was a whole mess. He was screaming and yelling, and they literally are like strong arming him. I can't say that. I can't really say that the force wasn't necessary because he was definitely on his Jennifer Holiday shit. He was telling them, I ain't going. So, I mean, at that point, what's going to happen? I mean, you're going to be forcefully removed. But it just got even worse. I mean, he ended up like they drug him off. They ended up busting his mouth because he hit his mouth on the handle. The little handle by your seat. Like I said, don't fly off the handle, honey. And then bust his mouth on the handle. They end up slamming him into the aisle and literally dragging him with his glasses cocked. It was a mess. And I mean, scream. When I say screaming, I said, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, screaming. Like I was like, "This is ridiculous." And then there's people that wasn't making it any better because the plane is fully boarded, 100 people on the plane, and he's screaming, and it's upsetting women and children that are on the plane. The commotion is upsetting them, and they're saying, no, you don't have to do that to him, you know what I mean? Because he really was carrying on. Well, comes to find out he was actually a doctor. He's an little Asian man, and that was the thing. It was like, okay, it really seemed excessive, I think, because you had these 3 large security individuals, and it's this little Asian man, you know what I mean? And he was an Asian doctor. And he said he had to get home because he had patients that he needed to see to. So yes, it was just as important for him to get where he was going as it was for United to get some flight attendants over there so that they can make their money. Their United's money was no more important than Dr. whatever his name was, than his money. So, I mean, I understood that as well. But United is actually stating that they have it in print when you buy a ticket that This is their policy, that they were fully within their their policy to actually do this. But the question is actually going to be now about the force that was actually used to remove him from the plane. It's really a toss up on who's right, who's wrong. Well, I'm telling you, hey, the doctor's wrong, because if they're within their rights to ask you to get off of the plane, then you need to get your ass off of the plane. So I'm really sad that it had to happen to him like that, because they balled him up. Now they balled him up, but again, if you're not screaming and yelling and acting a fool, you wouldn't actually get balled up. We've actually seen people literally killed for less behavior than what he was distributing. This is going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting to see what else comes from this. And you guys can believe I'm going to have my ear to the ground to find out what actually happens with this. And when it does, I'll be back to update you on it. But you just never know how things are actually going to turn out. I am sure that the doctor, when he woke up that morning, didn't know that he was going to end up needing a doctor. Okay? Just keep in mind, like I said at the beginning of this video, it's not always the time to fly off the handle.